Today, I want to talk about the 6 shifts that I made to finally stop pivoting in my business. This is something that has caused me so much stress over the past year, and maybe if you are someone who has a side hustle, it's something that you're experiencing. I kept on changing my offering, my product, my service, because I felt like after I wasn't getting any feedback or real wins, that it was out of alignment with what I was supposed to be doing. But as a result of so many pivots, I was working so hard and really not seeing any results. So over the past few months, I had to sit down and get so honest with myself about what needed to change if I really wanted to see true success in any business that I built. So these were the 6 mindset shifts that finally got me out of the struggle bus, and I really hope it can get you out of the struggle bus too. The first thing that I realized I was doing, I was focusing way too much on making money over the impact that I wanted to make. And as cliche as that sounds, if you solely focus on the money, it can just really overtake you and become an obsession, and then you lose motivation as to like why you're even working so hard because you're not seeing that financial feedback. Once I really honed in on the impact that I wanted to make on my business and the individual person that I could help, that helped me really commit to my mission and tell myself, I'm sticking to this until I can reach these people, until I can help them, because I know ultimately that will make the world a better place, and that will make me feel really good about my work. An example of this is when I initially started, I tried drop shipping, and I really couldn't pull any meaning out of it. And I kept on thinking, why would anyone come to my website to buy like booty bands versus just Amazon? If you're not grounded in your why and the impact that you want to make, it's going to be really, really hard to stick to something for long enough until you see the results. The second huge mindset shift that I had to make was focusing on long-term gains over quick wins. As I mentioned in my first point, when I wasn't seeing that immediate money coming in, I wanted to switch gears. Building the kind of business that I wanted to build and create trust in a community was going to take a little bit longer versus like a quick win from one viral video. That helped me get off the hamster wheel a little bit in trying to like always create virality, and instead focus on how can I create the most useful and best content? How can I master the skill set of communicating with you, of getting on video and actually feeling confident, not having to repeat myself 10 different times. Okay, the third shift that took honestly every day of journaling is just literally deciding that I am going to be successful, not hoping that it will work out, not relying on external validation or number of views, but internalizing the fact that like I 100% know I'm going to be successful, and I'm so committed to that. Because if there's even an ounce of doubt in your head, when shit hits the fan or things get hard, that voice will just be so loud and you'll want to listen to it and you'll want to quit or pivot again. But if you absolutely know with 100% certainty and you decide, I'm going to be successful, none of those thoughts matter. The fourth shift was one of identity. I was talking to my husband. I was honestly crying because this has been such a struggle for me. And I told him, well, I'm multi-passionate. You know, I've switched careers so many times. And he said something that really resonated with me, which was, if you keep on thinking that you're flaky or you're someone who always pivots, then how can you expect to do anything different in the future? This was such a powerful statement for me because it just made so much sense. If I was internalizing this identity of someone who's flaky and always pivoting, how am I supposed to be any different? So I started to look at areas in my life where I wasn't flaky. I was constantly going to the gym and really committed to that. I was always into personal growth and learning. I've been really consistent in my full-time job. I have obviously a lot of content on how I've been able to climb the ladder and really succeed in that. So I gathered all this evidence of this identity that I wanted to be. The next thing I had to take a look at is my association between hard work and success. I have always been an extremely high achiever, and thinking that I had to constantly juggle 10 different things at once to be successful. And this came out a lot in my business because I thought I can run a YouTube channel, I can do Pinterest, I can do a blog. And this wasn't like I had established success in one thing and then was able to move on to the next thing, which I think is like something that everyone should do. It was that I was trying to do all of these things at once. And I realized it was because of this belief that I had to consistently give my 110% and be grinding and hustling all the time. When in reality, you can succeed just from like one really high quality video or one really authentic video. And the number of hours that I was working or the number of tasks had zero association with my success. When you truly focus on the things that are going to move the needle, that has so much more impact than all of these smaller tasks that you're doing. And lastly, I started to think a lot bigger for myself, which genuinely felt really scary. Like, how can I be the absolute best at showing you how to get promoted in the workplace and designing a life that you love versus create these PDFs that could help a few people? Once I expanded what I could be capable of, one, it was a lot more exciting than these smaller wins, and two, the path that I would need to take for a much bigger goal is extremely different than a path that I would need to take for a smaller goal. So it really helped me hone in on what to focus on. I'm going to be doing a whole series on the art of consistency and mastering consistency in different areas of your life. I used to be the inconsistency queen. I would start and stop projects, I would change careers, I would start and stop working out, and I can finally say I have truly mastered the art of consistency after 10 years. That's all for now. Thank you so much for being here.